Columbus Day? No more. Los Angeles makes history by celebrating its first ever Indigenous Peoples Day. Annenberg Media's Madeline Ottilie caught the action.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court confirmation may impact voter registration and turnout in the midterm elections.
And SpaceX lit up the California sky with a launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Los Angeles is celebrating its first Indigenous Peoples Day today. Good evening, I'm Trevor Sahaki.
And I'm Nikki Walker. Annenberg Media's Madeline Ottilie is at City Hall with the story on this historic holiday. Hey Madeline, what's the atmosphere like over there?
Thanks, guys. Well, we've all heard the song before. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It's a classic rhyme designed to honor him for discovering America. But Native Americans say, well, they were here first. That's one of the reasons they've been celebrating all day long to ring in LA's newest holiday. I spoke to several individuals this morning about what this recognition means. For the first time ever, Los Angeles is celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day.
Today marks a new beginning.
On a day that many across the country still use to honor Christopher Columbus.
What he represents to Native America and Indigenous people everywhere is subjugation, oppression. That's Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell. A Native American himself, he led the charge to change the holiday, a battle he began back in 2015. And I never anticipated that I would be doing this, but when I met elders and tribal leaders, it was very crystal clear to me that part of my, I would say, destiny was to make this change. LA is now the largest city to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, joining more than a dozen other cities that do so. But one opponent wishes the holiday hadn't come at the expense of Columbus.
Columbus Day was not just for Italian Americans, it was actually for all the immigrants that were coming over here at that time. We adopted it as a symbol of us celebrating our heritage and celebrating the journey of our ancestors coming over.
Native Americans say the recognition shows they still matter.
It means that Indigenous peoples' cultures and lives still continue. It's never become extinct like people think.
Now, the federal government does still recognize Columbus Day as a national official holiday, and there's no sign right now that that's going to be changing anytime soon. Again, I'm Madeline Ottilie, standing in Grand Park in downtown, and I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Madeline. Native Americans from more than a dozen nations gathered at Grand Park today for the city's first Indigenous Peoples Day. They marched up the steps of City Hall towards an enthusiastic crowd. The Parade of Nations demonstrated solidarity from the Mohawk Nation on the East Coast to the Oglala Lakota in the Midwest to the local Tongva tribe. Several shared their thoughts about no longer calling this Columbus Day.
I see today as a very important day. We're always taught in school that Columbus is to be celebrated and that he discovered us, but we weren't discovered, we were already here. So to reclaim this day as something for Indigenous people, I think it's important for all of us.
This is like recognizing the resiliency of the people that suffered everything but are still here and still alive and still striving and thriving.
A black box covered the statue of Christopher Columbus in Grand Park. Plans are underway to replace the statue of the controversial explorer with the figure of a Native American.
The candidates for governor of California squared off today in the only one-on-one debate before the midterm elections. The debate was aired statewide from San Francisco's public radio station, KQED. Gavin Newsom, the Democratic candidate, is currently the California Lieutenant Governor. He also served as the governor of San Francisco from 2005 to 2011. Newsom ran for governor against Jerry Brown back in 2009. His opponent, John Cox, is originally from Chicago. He's now a San Diego businessman who founded a law firm that specializes in corporate law and tax planning. Cox was also the first Republican to enter the 2008 presidential race, but ended up dropping out.
My biggest issue, again, remains the issue of addressing the income and wealth disparities in the state. That doesn't begrudge, in a way that doesn't begrudge other people's success, but addresses these issues in a systemic way.
Election is about change versus the status quo. I represent change. We need to make sure that California leads the way on education, on affordability. So there's a lot of areas that people need to know that we are opposed, and I will make this state affordable and livable again.
A USC professor says the debate will not have any effect on the upcoming elections.
There is no debate between Newsom and Cox that is likely to change the electoral arithmetic in California. Debate on the radio in the middle of the workday is a non-event. Cox is on the wrong side of the issues in terms of the views of most Californians.
A recent nonpartisan poll has Newsom ahead by 12 percentage points. Support for Cox rose over the summer, and he managed to cut Newsom's lead in half.
Midterm elections are now less than a month away, and both parties are using the controversial confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court as a way to encourage voter turnout. Kavanaugh's confirmation ended weeks of politically charged hearings where the justice faced sexual assault allegations. A polling expert says the hearings created even deeper political divisions leading up to the midterm elections.
You know, you already have such steep political divides. I'm not sure how much impact it's going to have on either side. I think what we're waiting to see is how much impact it's going to have on turnout. Is it going to cause women to come out more? Is it going to have a bigger blue or red impact? You know, there's every possibility that this has really energized Democrats even further than they already were.
Students are also working to make sure their peers vote. Both partisan and nonpartisan student groups are participating in Vote SC, a campus-wide initiative to promote voter registration and encourage civic engagement.
I think the more people that vote, the more people that are active in politics, the more representative our representatives are going to be of the people.
I believe in 2016 we had around 8% of our undergrad that was registered to vote voting, and we wanted to change that because in order for democracy to work, you have to be involved in it and your voice needs to be heard.
Miles says she hopes Vote SC will continue to grow in order to keep political engagement on students' minds. The initiative is aiming to work with more student groups to create a lasting presence on campus. Now a celebrity has created quite a stir on the internet after revealing her political beliefs. Albert Chien is here with more.
Look what they made her do. Taylor Swift has broken her career-long political silence to announce that she will be voting for the Democrats in the upcoming midterms. This comes in the wake of Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Supreme Court. The pop megastar took to Instagram on Sunday to urge her fans to vote, saying that following recent events, she could no longer stay silent on political matters. Addressing her home state of Tennessee, Swift said she would not support Republican candidate Marsha Blackburn. She's endorsing Democratic candidates Phil Bredesen and Jim Trooper. Other celebrities are also speaking out. Ellen DeGeneres wrote, quote, "This tweet is for Dr. Ford. You put yourself through so much, and I want you to know it wasn't in vain. You started a movement, and we'll see it through. If they won't listen to our voices, then they'll listen to our vote." Today, comedian Kumail Nanjiani tweeted out, quote, "Register to vote or check your status right now. Literally, just do it literally right now. It'll take no time. Everyone needs all of you." If you're not registered to vote or unsure if you are, you can register and check your status on www.vote.org. Back to you, Trevor and Nikki.
Thanks, Albert. You may have seen something strange in the sky last night. SpaceX launched its Falcon 9 rocket last night from Vandenberg Air Force Base, 3 hours north of campus. The landmark launch lit up the sky and prompted a flood of social media posts from Los Angeles residents. Many joked online that they had seen an alien UFO, but SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk tweeted a sonic boom warning for the launch, writing, "It won't be subtle." In 2010, SpaceX launched the first Falcon 9 successfully in Florida. They have now launched over 60 Falcon 9 rockets in the U.S. The latest is the first to land in California. The company said it hopes to use reusable rockets like the Falcon 9 to eventually make humans a multi-planetary species.
There's a new peer counseling program at USC. We talked to volunteers about the group's role on campus.
Yes, and Halloween is weeks away. That's not the only reason the witch population is on the rise.
On LA's first Indigenous Peoples Day, the Upright Citizens Brigade is featuring Native American comedians.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Got a quarter?
USC is expanding the school's mental health resources. Trojan Support is the first student-led peer support program on campus. I met with 2 board members earlier today to learn more. What does that training entail? I know it's a little bit of a process.
Yeah, so it was both orientation and training at the beginning of this semester. So the training portion included becoming a CPE trainer, and that was where we brought in someone to work with us for a total of 12 hours, where we really became equipped with the tools to deal with someone who's not in a good mental state, so whether or not they're suicidal or has been sexually assaulted, or it could be something small too, whether or not it's like anxiety from academic stress or dealing with relationships such as like roommates.
All of our members definitely have a vested interest in making sure that mental health doesn't have as much of a stigma associated with it, because we've all had experiences or relationships in our life that we really care about that have struggled because of the stigma associated with finding mental health care. And so everyone that's on the team really, really cares about getting those resources out there.
We're hoping to start in the next, actually 2 weeks, before the end of October. We're getting a space set up, and we'll be posting that on our website with more information. But yeah, hopefully by the end of the month we'll have kick-started. And
we're really excited to be a part of the community here at USC that provides mental health services.
Students are happy the need for mental health services is gaining attention, but they say the assistance provided by trained students should not replace professional help.
I think for the bigger issues though, kind of like with anxiety, depression, and other larger mental health issues, I don't think it would be as helpful because these aren't trained professionals.
I think I would be more comfortable with the professional, but talking to just some other senior might be a little off-putting for me.
Peer programs like Trojan Support do not officially qualify as professional mental health care. USC provides or believes it is important to promote health-seeking behavior and connections between students.
Well, it has been getting colder outside, and I'm ready for it.
I am too. I actually got to wear a sweater and shorts finally, so
there you go.
fall in LA.
Let's check in with our weather anchor Draco Guan for tomorrow's forecast.
Hey guys, we're definitely experiencing a cool fall pattern right now. Let's look at the current condition. It's gonna be 74 degrees here in USC, and it's gonna be sunny. As for tomorrow, to Big Bear is 57, Riverside 79. It's all sunny weather tomorrow. And let's move up to the Semi Valley. It's 75 degrees, and Malibu in the coast is cooler, 69 degrees. So let's get back to our LA basin. USC 75 degrees, and Long Beach 70. Glendale is 75. 5-day forecast from Tuesday to Saturday. We're gonna experiencing a low temperature in the middle of the week at Thursday, and we're gonna be warmer up to 79 in the weekends. So as we know, all this kind of extreme condition, finally we have this answer now. Today there's a new report out about climate change. A United Nations climate panel is calling on people to make urgent and unprecedented changes. A group of environmental experts is meeting in downtown LA. They are trying to find cross-border solution to deal with climate change. One expert and local president believes traffic is a major culprit.
When the car cannot move freely, it emits a lot of pollution. And also we can see a lot of industry activity as well. So we needed to take care of how to use our energy and how to use our energy cleanly and efficiently.
Expert is also pointing out that technology and innovation will be Los Angeles' strength in combating climate change. So guys, after all, it's all our individuals' responsibility to keep our climate combating this environmental crisis.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Draco.
All right, thank you. Well, the witching hour is upon us. A Pew Research study shows the number of people who identify as witches is on the rise. The use of crystals, meditation, and magic are also growing in popularity as younger people seek a spiritual connection instead of a religious one. Metaphysical supply stores like Spellbound Sky and Silver Lake sell crystals, ritual candles, and essential potions. They believe these will empower people to create the life they want to live.
Today's the new moon. So on the new moon and full moon, I'll usually do some kind of magic ritual, do a spell. So that's twice a month. And then in between that, it kind of just depends on what I need.
According to several publications, a millennial witch is a man or woman who is in tune with themselves and nature. They also incorporate technology and social media into their witchcraft. The growing witch population can be attributed to the rapid growing community of people who are spiritual but don't have a religious identity.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons. One is people are trying to get connected to, to reality here. There's all this focus now on virtual reality, and people, I think, would like to be connected to the earth.
Burklow went on to say that roughly 1/3 of students at USC identify as spiritual but not religious. To honor Indigenous Peoples Day, the famous comedy theater Upright Citizens Brigade is producing its first all-Native American showcase. Performances include stand-up, sketches, and storytelling. The name of tonight's show is The Ghost of Christopher Columbus. Producers will be introducing the audience to Native American comedians from more than a dozen tribes from both North and South America.
For the longest time, I've been pretty much the only Native involved in the community, and I've been wanting to do a showcase for Natives because I've known that there have been so many funny Natives that aren't necessarily a part of UCB that deserve a place to shine.
I hope that people understand that Native Americans are still around and that we have different experiences and that we're not just from the 1800s and like the Wild West or living on a reservation.
Tonight's show opens at 7 p.m. at the UCB Theater Sunset. Tickets are available at the door for $5. Now we bring in our sports anchor Keith DeMolder to give us a sports update.
Huge game today, guys. Dodgers taking on the Braves. Sorry to cut you off, Nikki. But the boys in blue are feeling very good after a big win over the Atlanta Braves down south this afternoon. Women's soccer also rebounded this weekend with 2 wins over Arizona and Arizona State as the senior defender accomplished a career first. Also, we're premiering a new segment, Sam and Suh. Annenberg's own Sam Scalbania talks with USC golfer Justin Suh about what makes his swing so smooth. Get your popcorn ready. Annenberg TV Sports is next.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at our best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
From USC to the ATL, the LA Dodgers and their hot-hitting bats traveled down south today to Atlanta to battle the Braves. Much like his Red Sox predecessor Ramirez, playoff Manny Machado was dynamite with an RBI double for the Dodgers. Machado would add a game-sealing 3-run home run in the 7th inning. The Dodgers win 6-2, take the series 3-1, and move on to the NLCS for the 2nd straight season. USC safety Bubba Bolden is leaving USC. After originally starting the year with the starting job going into fall camp, the sophomore safety was removed from the team before the season for an undisclosed incident. Bolden revealed a couple hours ago that he was accused of making threatening remarks at a party with underage drinking. Bolden took to Instagram today to break his silence and posted a thorough explanation of why he decided to leave USC. Bolden said, quote, "Although I certainly did not expect to leave USC under these circumstances, I depart with my integrity intact and stronger than ever as I face a bright horizon." USC Athletics and the university did not offer comment on Bolden's departure. In the meantime, the 3-2 USC football team will continue play this weekend without the services of Bolden as they take on the undefeated Colorado Buffaloes. The Buffs come into Saturday's home game at the Coliseum with an unblemished 5-0 record and a number 19 ranking. In a weekend of ranked losses, 12th ranked women's volleyball was yet another victim on Sunday against Oregon. The women of Troy were swept 3-0 by number 20 ranked Ducks at the Galen Center, snapping their perfect home record in 2018. Although the Ducks won 3-0, the match was closer than the scoreline indicates. Each set was decided by 5 points or fewer as USC outside hitter Kalea Lanier led the game with 16 kills and setter Raquel Lazaro added 38 assists. Oregon's Ronica Stone and August Rasky led the Ducks with 10 kills apiece. The Trojans will play Arizona and Arizona State this weekend. It's not very often that those responsible for defending goals end up scoring goals. But for the first time in her 80-game USC career, senior defender Allie Prysock finally scored her first career goal in a Trojan uniform and yet another successful weekend for women's soccer. USC women's soccer returned to Troy this weekend to defend their home turf and number 2 ranking as they earned wins over Arizona and Arizona State thanks to goals from Prysock and Natalie Jacobs and saves from goalkeeper Kaylee Collins.
So coming off of Stanford last week, I think today was supposed to just be a reboot for us. Focus on our possession, especially up top. It was a lot of, even in our scout, a lot of focusing on ourselves rather than the other team. Just kind of to get us rebooted and get our confidence back.
Samantha Bruder also scored her first career goal as a Trojan this weekend in a 3-1 win over the Sun Devils. Head coach Gudani McAlpine spoke with Annenberg Media after Sunday's victory. McAlpine emphasized that while his team earned the W, the women of Troy will need to improve against what he describes as a dangerous 10-2-0 Washington State team this weekend.
Well, obviously Washington State's having a great year, and so anytime you go on the road into an environment like that where a team is feeling confident and they're feeling very, very good at home, we've got to make sure we lock in and really focus because, you know, like I said, the 2 areas that are not as good today are the 2 areas that we're going to have to be very, very locked in on up there because they can score and they can defend, and teams like that are very, very dangerous.
In the heart of Pac-12 play, the women of Troy will travel to Pullman, Washington to clash with the Cougars on Saturday night. Now transitioning from the back of the net to the bottom of the cup, we send it to Sam Scalbania for the first edition of Sam and Suh. Sam, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Keith. Well, Justin Suh is only 5 foot 8 inches tall, but absolutely wallops the golf ball, usually over 330 yards. I chatted with the number 2 amateur in the world about his winning swing.
I guess for me, I try to keep it very minimal in relation to what could go wrong, and that's why being nice and short and more focused on the target rather than the swing helps me.
Suh tries not to analyze his swing, so I will. Focus on his wide base. That's where his power comes from. So you see he's going to bring the ball back, or the club back, with straight arm, straight left arm. He keeps it slow. He has a short backswing, and he does something really nice that, you know, Shakira would be very proud of. He brings those hips beautifully through, allowing for immense power to come through at the release with his hands. And Suh plans to use this swing for his lofty goals this season.
Winning nationals, as both individually and as a team, but to get the first national win as a team, that would be a true hallmark of USC men's golf.
Suh hopes to end his SC career with a bang this year, but don't be shocked when you see him tearing it up in the pro someday. Keith?
Thanks so much, Sam. It's officially official, folks. The undefeated season is no more. USC men's water polo lost a tough game on the road Saturday, 13-11 to the Stanford Cardinal. And although the Trojans might have been down, they are not out of postseason contention after a big 16-5 rebound win over San Jose State on Sunday. The Trojans will face off against Air Force in the Mountain Pacific Invitational this Friday. The rest of the Trojans matchups for the weekend have yet to be decided, but USC could potentially play the likes of UCLA, Stanford, and Cal. Exciting stuff, guys. Really excited to see the USC Trojans back at the Coliseum.
Me as well.
And Parents Weekend is going to be very exciting. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
The popular sparkling water LaCroix is a staple at USC.
But the drink is under question for using insecticides as a possible ingredient.
Hey guys, Danny Trejo here. There was going to be a whole song and dance routine about how you should wait your turn to enter the train. But they got me, Danny Trejo, to talk to you instead. Look, when you don't wait your turn to enter the train, it's rude and potentially dangerous. And believe me, I know a thing or two about rude and dangerous. I'm Danny Trejo. Don't be like rude, dude. Be kind, like super kind. Excuse me.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
With flavors ranging from lemon to lime to pamplemousse, LaCroix is a popular sparkling water found all over campus. But now the drink is subject of controversy. A lawsuit filed against the drink's parent company accuses the National Beverage Corporation of false advertising. LaCroix claims to be all natural, but the lawsuit alleges the sparkling water contains non-natural flavorings and insecticide. LaCroix released a statement addressing the allegations. Natural flavors in LaCroix are derived from the natural essence oils from the named fruit used in each of the flavors. All essence contained in the LaCroix are certified by our suppliers to be 100% natural. Students have varying opinions on both the company and the allegations.
I really like LaCroix, and at first I kind of hated it, but once you drink a few of them, it's like an acquired taste, I would say.
That's not fun. It's kind of gross. I never bought it anyways, but like now it's a definite no. Like before, maybe I might have like tried it, but I don't think I would now.
Scientists say that the same chemical is found in cinnamon, and it can cause mild skin and eye irritation at worst.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Trevor Sahaki.
And I'm Nikki Walker. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.